Hiya, I'm Jasper, and welcome to your video review for Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. It's a movie starring Anya Taylor-Joy and Chris Hemsworth. So this movie is a prequel to Fury Road. Well, Mad Max Fury Road. And I'm going to be spoiler-free for both of those movies because this is definitely one of those prequels, sort of like how Rogue One leads immediately into Episode 4. It's sort of like that. So I'm going to keep it spoiler-free for those. And to put my opinions on this in perspective, I love Mel Gibson's movies. Seen a lot of them. A lot of them are great. I've seen the Mad Maxes with Mel Gibson, but like once, and I didn't have a whole lot of nostalgia for them, so I don't really remember them all that much. However, Fury Road is one of my favorite movies of all time, and this movie is not as good, but it is good enough that anytime I watch Fury Road in the future, I will likely watch this movie first to lead into that. Because this movie, while it is not as good as Fury Road in my opinion, it is amazing. Like, Fury Road, this movie, in terms of like excellent quality, it's really up there. So, something to keep in mind, I haven't seen any of the trailers. I don't recommend you see any of the trailers. But one thing that I will tell you is that when this movie first started, there's this character named Dementis. I thought that it was like also the story of how he becomes Immortan Joe. They are separate characters. So I feel like that's something you should have in mind so you're not like, well, how does this do that? And what is the... nope. Separate characters. Separate characters. So, anywho, this movie, I think it does a better job of exploring the universe. So Fury Road definitely had like its laser focus on this like one guy, so Mad Max, so it had focus on him and like his like what he was doing and like the just that type of focus. Whereas this one, I think, gives you a better perspective and gets you to see some other areas and gives you time to like see other characters and where their perspectives are coming from a bit. And I think that that's fun, but I do also think that it doesn't have quite the intensity of Fury Road because of that. Now, it still does have a lot of intensity, has a lot of awesome sequences, just all around awesome, but not quite as much as Fury Road. And along those lines, it does have use of CGI. Now, I know that probably a lot of people still think that Fury Road didn't use any CGI. And the reality is that, yeah, they used quite a lot of CGI. They also did a lot of color correction on things. So there was CGI used, but there was definitely a high amount of practical effects and like people actually doing the thing. And then what they did was they just kind of added things to the background or like, made it be a little bit bigger or a little bit more exciting. As opposed to like what a lot of modern Hollywood does is just like, oh, we'll just CGI the entire thing. So that is why I think that Fury Road holds up so well and is so excellent, is because so much of it was practical. In this one, yes, a whole lot of it definitely had to be practical. But they did use some CGI that I think was noticeable. But only in my opinion, like in the really wide crowd shots to really give you like the scale of what some of the things we're working with or how many people there were. And that was really the only time that it was noticeable for me. It was just for a few seconds with the big, like, wide shots of all the things. That's where it was really noticeable to me as CGI. And I didn't mind that. That was fine because the, like, closer character work and vehicle work and all that jazz, that all looked real to me. And so that was fine. I enjoyed that. I also just really enjoyed Chris Hemsworth's performance, which shouldn't surprise anybody because he is a really versatile actor, if you can tell from like how he portrayed Thor in Thor 1 versus Ghostbusters and then in this movie. So he's got a good range. Like there's a reason that he is a Hollywood star, not just because of the Marvel Cinematic Universe or whatever. And then Anya Taylor-Joy, I really liked her in Morgan and in the New Mutants, so I was excited to see her in basically anything else. So that was really enjoyable to see, and she is excellent. I really like how George Miller, who's a director, producer, whatever, I really like how he does movies because I think I saw a quote from him, something along the lines of like, if I could have a movie with no dialogue, that would be the best because dialogue slows down movies. And if you've seen Fury Road, you know what he means by that of just how few lines there are, and same sort of thing in this one. Or if you think about the original Terminator, maybe Terminator 2, but I think he had more lines than that one. Like Terminator 1, like he has almost no lines because that guy's bigger and scarier when not talking. So in this, I really appreciate just what a visual storyteller he is for this because he does that so well to tell the story through like just the character looks and the character actions without them having to explain what they're doing. Which is another one of the reasons how come it's a little jarring the couple times where there's narration. It's fine, like it does work for when that is happening, but it is a little jarring to me to be like, oh, okay, so now we're narrating. Is this like a 300 thing where the dude is narrating from the future or whatever? Like, I'm not going to spoil whether or not that's the case, but it does surprise me a little bit because of how much of this is just visual storytelling. And also, if you have a chance, please watch this movie in theaters, especially if your theater has an excellent sound system, because even just the first chase bike sequence with those motorcycles, and especially, you know which motorcycle I'm talking about, it is just such an auditory experience to feel that motorcycle. And so many of these vehicles just each have a unique feel to them with how the rumblings and just how they are hitting through the speakers. It is so excellent, and it just is very immersive, and this guy knows how to make things unique. Like, think about how the original Star Wars had so many different sounding vehicles that like maybe episode 1, the pod race thing, how every single one of those pod racers sounded different. Like, if you've watched the movie enough times or played the game enough times, you could probably close your eyes and then just be like, oh yeah, that's the Bulbous pod racer, that's Anakin's, that's this guy's, that, like, you could probably do, like, that is how unique the sound design is with this movie. And I think that combined with the amazing visuals is definitely worth it. Now, if you've never seen Furiosa, obviously it just came out, or Fury Road, what I would recommend is not to watch Fury Road yet. Watch Furiosa, then go find a big screen, or if your cinema is doing a double showing, hopefully they do it in the correct order, which is Furiosa followed by Fury Road. Or if they don't do it in the correct order, and you got enough money, go see Furiosa, then find a double showing and just watch the Fury Road. Or if you liked Furiosa that much, then go watch Furiosa again. But yeah, watch Furiosa first, in my opinion, and then Fury Road if you haven't already. Because it's what I personally experienced was because of, like, based on this movie, a couple things that have to or can't happen. And this is a prequel, so you are looking for either that thing to happen or you know that it can't happen type of thing, So, and that is the thing that happens with all prequels, especially prequels that lead directly into the sequel, the original, if you will. So it's not a unique problem, and I don't think that it's not too distracting, but I think that you will enjoy Furiosa even more if you don't know what's coming in Fury Road, personally. But both highly excellent movies, excellent acting, excellent pacing. Yes, Furiosa is a long movie. It's like 2 hours and 20, 2 hours and 22, 28 minutes, somewhere around there. But it doesn't feel like it. Like, the person I went and saw the movie with, like, first thing that they said to me was like, this movie was long, but it did not feel long. And I was like, exactly. So this movie uses every minute of screen time appropriately, and I was impressed by it. So yeah, definitely go and watch this movie. 2 thumbs way up. Highly recommend. That's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Bye.